Hello, good afternoon. Welcome back. My name's James Wrigley. Welcome back to another December daily. I haven't got my banner up here. Just let me fix that up for a minute. Save that. Post that. December daily is number 6. I tried a tile on both LinkedIn and Facebook, scheduling today's live session. So just jumping on my phone, making sure it's coming through okay. If anyone's out there that's jumped on already and watching, please let me know. Give us a thumbs up, a like, say hello. Let me know that you're there. It looks like it's coming through okay on my phone here. So as per the title or the description that I had for today's session, I wanted to spend 10-15 minutes or so going through Centrelink benefits. So I've had the same kind of conversation. Hi Mina, thank you for jumping on and joining me. I'm well. I'm really good. Just got off a session talking about education bonds with someone that looking quite interesting. A little bit more work I need to do to get my head around those, but maybe do a session on that shortly. So today I wanted to jump on and talk about Centrelink benefits. So as I said, a conversation that I've had, a couple of conversations, similar conversations I've had with clients in the last few weeks. This may be of value to you, if not your parents. I kind of know a few of the people that have been tuning into these live streams, and Mina, what I'm about to go through is probably not going to be terribly relevant for you. Maybe a little bit more relevant for people that might be of your parents' age. Graham, thank you for joining in as well and jumping on from the Philippines. Hope life is treating you well over there. So when we talk about Centrelink benefits, it's not just the age pension. So I want to talk through the three main benefits that are available to those that are kind of at or around that retirement age pension age. So a lot of people, some people, try to structure their affairs such that they receive some age pension, so they feel somewhat entitled to receiving a pension, and that's fine. That's a personal view. We all pay a whole lot of tax across our working lives, and then so some people want to actually claim a pension. On the other side, there are some people that do enough saving and investing, those kind of things, that they go well past the caps around the pension. So there are other benefits that are available, and I just wanted to explore the three main ones that clients that I work with that are in that kind of retirement stage tend to qualify for. The one conversation that prompted me wanting to talk about this is a particular couple that I work with. They've long been retired. They're well into their 70s now, have been on the age pension for quite some time, but typically they go overseas on an annual holiday and they take a lump sum withdrawal from their superannuation benefits to pay for this overseas holiday. Without the annual overseas holiday, they don't spend enough. Their assets would continue to rise with the earnings on their benefits, and they'd actually lose the age pension. And so I had a conversation with them to say, look, you haven't been able to do the overseas holiday this year. You're probably unlikely to do it next year, and you might not feel like doing it going forward. You've explored a lot of the world. It's not to worry if you lose the age pension. Don't be too caught up on that. So if I share my screen here, I'm just going to jump on a share screen. So a particular window, that's the one here. So there's three benefits that I want to talk through. The first one here, it looks like I might need to zoom this in a little bit, is looking at the age pension benefits. So the age pension, I guess, is the first type of Centrelink benefit that you would want to try and look at and see if you may qualify in full or in part for that. There's a couple of tests associated with the pension. So on the one hand, Centrelink looks at an individual or a couple's assets, depending on their situation. They look at their assets, and then they look at the income that they earn. What I've got up here on the screen are the current asset rules as they stand at the moment. I'm just on the Centrelink website getting these direct from there. So for a couple that own their own home, so a couple combined homeowner, if they have under $876,500, they'll qualify for an age pension. Now, that age pension age was age 65. It's slowly moving to age 67. So depending on someone's date of birth, they might have a slightly different age pension age, but it's going to be somewhere between 65 and 67. So combined assets of under $876,500, that excludes your home if you're a homeowner. So you could live in a $5 million house, not have much other assets, and Centrelink would pay you an age pension. If you are a non-homeowner and you're renting, Centrelink allows you to have a little bit more money. But importantly, these are the thresholds at which after these you get no age pension. So if you had $875,000, you don't get the full age pension. You only get a part pension. It slowly phases out to zero. For a single person, you can see the limits there. A couple separated by illness. So if someone's in hospital, if someone goes into aged care is the typical one, they allow you to have a bit more assets, and you can qualify. Kirsten, I can see you. You've come up as LinkedIn user, but I can see you on the phone, so I know it's you. Yes, it does include super. So here's a bit of a trick, and if you're paying attention. When both members of the couple are over that age pension age, so call it age 65, but it is changing. If both members of the couple are over age 65, their superannuation assets count. If you have one person over the age 65 and one under, so say there's a 5-year difference between the couple's ages, mum or dad might be 65, the other one is a little bit younger, you can shelter assets, superannuation assets, in the younger person's name, and it doesn't count for Centrelink purposes. So a strategy that I've put in play many of times over the years. I had one particular couple. We'd rejigged their assets such that it was the husband was older. He was receiving the full age pension for a number of years, whilst his wife was under age pension age. Between the two of them, they had more assets than would actually qualify them for the pension. But because we'd sheltered some in the younger spouse's name for a number of years, they collected the full age pension. Well, his half of the full age pension, you only get half of it per person. Collected that for a few years. They probably earned $90,000 in age pension over that time, before the younger spouse was of age pension age, and then the whole assets were captured. So Kirsten, yes, it does include superannuation assets. The only thing it doesn't include is the family home. Someone else joining on from Twitch. Thank you for joining me. So I guess if we go through the three different benefits of I guess the best one, if you can possibly qualify for it, is the age pension. You'll get paid some fortnightly payment. These are the asset thresholds. There's income thresholds as well. I won't go into those. It's a convoluted calculation to work out the income threshold. But there's an asset threshold there. You get paid a fortnightly payment from Centrelink, depending on how close you are to that cap will dictate how much age pension you get. But importantly, you also get the pension card. Now, the pension card gives you access to the pharmaceutical benefit scheme, so the discount prescription medication, discount car registration, discount rates and electricity, energy bills, water, those kind of things, train travel. So you get a whole range of benefits. What we typically see is that pension card alone is probably worth about a couple of $1,000s per household in the annual benefits that are available. Graham, you're in the Philippines. Obviously, you can, if you've been in Australia for long enough, you claim the age pension, and you reside in Australia for long enough after receiving that age pension, you can go overseas to the Philippines, to Thailand, wherever else someone might want to go and retire, and continue to have your Australian age pension paid when you're residing overseas. So the first one is the age pension. If someone's assets, if they've worked and their assets have gone through, do you need to reside in Australia? Yeah. So Graham, at the time that you're claiming the age pension, you need to be residing in Australia. and then there's a period of time that you need to continue to reside in Australia thereafter. Before you can take your, I think the terminology they use is before your age pension becomes transportable or something to that effect. So you have to have lived and worked in Australia for a period of time, claim your age pension, stay in Australia for a little while longer, and then you can go overseas, and they'll continue to pay your age pension to you when you're living overseas. As you go through that $876,000 asset threshold, you will then no longer qualify for the age pension. So if your superannuation, for example, has gone through that, and so for most 30, 40-year-olds that are working, just because of the superannuation system, if anyone caught my live stream from last week, most people will probably likely go through that threshold, or a couple will likely go through that threshold just through their default superannuation savings without really doing too much more. So that then brings me to the next benefit that's available, and this is called the low-income healthcare card. So I've just updated the share screen here. The low-income healthcare card is available to anyone of any age, provided their income is low enough. Now, for most people that are working, their income is going to be far too high to qualify for the low-income healthcare card. But when people retire, there's now no longer any income coming from employment. Most people support their retirement through maybe through their superannuation, maybe some rent on an investment property, some assets that they've got that they use to support their retirement income. Now, there's some limits here. They test your income over an 8-week period. So for a couple, combined income, they can have income of under $7,880 over the 8-week period and qualify for the low-income healthcare card. Why is this low-income healthcare card important? Because it gives you practically the same benefits as the pension concession card does. So discount prescriptions, the pharmaceutical benefits scheme, the car registration, the energy bills, the council rates, all of those kind of things. So there's a couple of $1,000s a year worth of savings by having or qualifying for that Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card. For a couple, I've got the number here. The annual income for the Commonwealth, for this low-income healthcare card for a couple is under $50,600 a year. So it's a pretty high income. What they do, how the income test works, they do what's called deeming. So they deem if someone's retired and got money in the bank, shares, superannuation, those kind of things. For the healthcare, for this low-income healthcare card, they're not concerned with what is the dollar value of those assets. Financial investments are deemed. So the first portion of your assets are deemed to earn a very low interest rate. For a couple, that's the first $88,000 is deemed to earn 0.25%. Anything more than that is deemed to earn 2.25%. So Centrelink couldn't care less what you actually earn. They just deem you to earn a particular amount of money off your financial investments. Provided that's under that $50,000 figure that I just mentioned, you'll qualify for the low-income healthcare card. So if you're working through that, this couple that I was referring to right at the start that ordinarily go on an annual overseas holiday, and it's only because of that lump sum spending they're doing that their assets haven't increased through retirement and done them out of the age pension. This couple, if their assets went above $876,000, which it may very well do, they'll lose their pension card, but they'll be able to apply for the low income card and get all of those benefits. When your assets are in that high $800,000 mark, the age pension's pretty negligible at that level anyway. Most people are desperate to hold on to the pension so that they can keep the card, but they don't need the pension to get the card. There is the low income card. Then the third one, now this is the one that's available. So this is another benefit that for those where their assets have gone too far. They've done well enough over their working lives to accumulate assets that they don't qualify for the age pension, and they don't qualify for the low-income healthcare card. That deeming arrangement that I was referring to before means that they have too much money to qualify for the low-income card. The third one here is what's called the Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card. Now, this is available to anyone that is of age pension age. So again, it was age 65. It's slowly increasing to age 67, but you need to be of age pension age. There's an income test for this one, Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card. It's quite a generous income test. So for a couple, they need to earn less than $89,290 a year. Now, income that counts towards that $89,000 figure is your taxable income. So if you're working part-time, so you could have one member of the couple's doing a day or two a week part-time work, and still actually qualify for this card. So a couple, as I said, $89,000. They look at your taxable income. So if you're doing some part-time work, if you've got investment property, shares, these kind of things in your own name that are deriving a taxable income to you in your own name, you may not be paying tax. You might not be earning enough money to pay tax, but you are earning a taxable income that counts towards the $89,000 figure, as well as this deeming arrangement that applies to the low-income card as well as the age pension. The same deeming arrangement applies. Now, because that income threshold is so high, a lot of financial advisors, and I've banged on about it before, superannuation. Assets that are in superannuation get a concessional treatment around this. So where someone has assets in the superannuation environment, they're not assessed on the income that they earn as a taxable income. So dividends, rent, interest, whatever income they might be earning from their investments, they're not assessed on what are those assets actually earning, like you would be if those assets were held in your own name. If they're held under the umbrella of superannuation, then you get the deeming arrangements that come into play. Now, this number is so high, it means that a couple could have just over $3.8 million in superannuation and still qualify for the Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card. Now, the Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card doesn't get you terribly much. It gets you access to the pharmaceutical benefits scheme, and that's really the major benefit of it. You don't get the discount car registration. Some councils will allow you to get discount rates and some won't. So you don't get a whole lot of discounts other than the prescriptions. So for anyone with big medical bills, it is worthwhile. What has happened though in this last 12 months, which is quite interesting, part of the Australian government's efforts to re-energise the economy has been to make payments to people that are on the age pension, family tax benefit, got it, so younger families, but also recipients of the Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card. So I've had clients that have got $3 million or more in superannuation. They've qualified for the Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card, and they've received the two $750 cash payments that the government has made up until now. So each individual has received $1,500 in cash payments from the government. There's another two $250 payments that will be paid shortly. So within a 12-month period, each individual that's receiving this Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card would have been paid a couple of $1,000s from the Australian government. So typically you don't get a monetary benefit with that Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card unless you've had it for some time and you're on an old grandfathered arrangement where they used to make a small payment to you. But yeah, under the arrangements that the Australian government has had to try and stimulate the economy, these people have received a couple of $1,000s each. Now, when Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card recipients first started receiving these payments, I was a bit puzzled, because you could argue that someone that's got $3.5 million in their superannuation fund, do they really need a $750 stimulus payment from the government? But when I thought through it and actually saw what was happening in practice, my clients that received that money, they all spent it. And that's what the government's intending people to do. They receive these payments and then spend it, and then they get the multiplier effect through the economy. So in achieving that, it certainly has. And a few of them would openly say, look, James, we don't need the $750 payment. They can appreciate the financial position that they're in. They were given it, they've received it, but they've done as the government had hoped most people would do and spend it, and then that money then flows through the economy. So if I just recap here, and for anyone that's watching, I'll finish up in a couple of minutes. So if you've got any further comments or questions, by all means jump in. So there's the three benefits that I've just explored. There's the age pension, where you get the pension card and you get a fortnightly payment from the government. Yes, your superannuation assets are included, so it's everything that you own except your family home. So the superannuation, money you've got in the bank, cars, boats, caravans, all of those types of toys, home contents, jewellery. Now, home contents is a fire sale value, so it's arguable if anyone's got anything more than worth about $10,000. But all of those things count towards that asset test. If someone's assets go above that, then there's the low-income healthcare card, which is the next best option. Gives you the same benefits that the pension concession card does. And then the third one, if assets are too high to qualify for the low-income card, there's the Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card, and a vast majority of the retired population will, at the very least, qualify for that. Sure, there's a few others that, I've got more than $3.8 million, but there's not a whole lot of them out there. And they get the Commonwealth Seniors Healthcare Card. So they're the three benefits. May not be of use to to all of you. Kirsten, I know you're a long way off from the age pension, so not terribly relevant to you, possibly your parents, as I said. So thank you all for joining me. Graham, do you know if all three options are required, time in Oz after applying? So the two healthcare cards, actually, Graham, the two healthcare cards. One, if you've been outside of Australia they each have different lengths of time, but they both expire. So if you're outside of Australia, like if you're planning on living in the Philippines permanently, those two healthcare cards, if you're in Australia and apply for it, you'll get the card, but it will also be cancelled on you pretty quickly thereafter. Centrelink is very tied in with the name escapes me. You fill in the cards when you leave. Immigration, Department of Immigration. They have they have the records. So you fill in your departure card when you leave from Tullamarine Airport. It's just down the road from here. Centrelink are on that, and I've had clients that have received letters in the post from Centrelink, like the day that their card is due to be cancelled because they've been outside of Australia too long. They're getting letters in the post. So those healthcare cards, they're of little use to you if you're outside of Australia anyway. If you need prescription medication, you're going to be getting it at a chemist near you, not here in Australia. The age pension is really the only one that you can take with you if you go overseas to live. But there are residency requirements, and don't quote me on this, but from memory, it's a couple of years you need to be in Australia collecting the age pension. Kirsten, I'm so curious about this for some reason. Look, there's a lot to it, and as I said right at the start, a lot of people are incredibly keen to apply for the age pension, and that's fair. But just know that there are other benefits out there outside of the age pension. And for those that have assets in that $800,000 range where they're only getting a couple of dollars a fortnight of age pension, the fortnightly age pension is practically meaningless at that level. It's the benefits that come with the card. And so you can get those same card benefits with the low income healthcare card as well. Mark, thank you for joining it, whether you caught all of that. Gone on for 24, approaching 25 minutes. It's been a good chat. Thank you all for joining me. Graham, thank you, for asking your couple of questions. And Graham, if there's anything that I can help you answer some questions after the fact, you know where to find me. We've been connected on LinkedIn for some time, so just send me a message and I'm happy to help out. That will about do me for today. Mina, hopefully you're well. I just realised I said I'm all good, but hopefully you are also. I know you were sick the other week. Hopefully on the mend. So if anyone has any queries or questions or wants to catch this again, obviously the live stream sitting here on LinkedIn, where I think a lot of you are watching I will pull the audio and put it on my podcast channel later today as well. So if you just search James Wrigley on Spotify or Apple Podcast or anything like that, you'll find me on there and can listen back to anything you want to listen to again. So thanks, Graham. Mina, great to hear you're well. Thank you all. I'll wrap up the live stream now, and tune in tomorrow. I'll come up with a different topic and we'll talk about that. See you there. Bye.